Hey guys, this is Carissa and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Inky Fairy Designs. Today I have some Copic coloring for you. I haven't done Copic coloring on my channel in a while, and I know a few have been asking for it, so I thought this would be a good day to do it. The reason that I did this is it's the Daily Marker 30-day coloring challenge, and I've been kind of following along and doing some coloring here and there. And I thought it would be fun to go on my Instagram and ask you guys what stamp I should color. So I put a poll on my stories, and it was close, but Stamping Bella totally won by 58%. And so I picked out one of the two Stamping Bella stamps that I had recently picked up, and it's this awesome Curvy Girl collection, Curvy Girl with a heart wreath. I absolutely adore her. I love the florals. I love the design of the girl, and as a curvy girl, I only wish I looked that good. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I have all of the markers listed on the upper left hand side of the screen. You can see the caps there, and grab those if you see any color combinations that you like. And let's see, I am coloring on Copic Express It paper, which I will get into in a little bit. And I stamped my image with the Ink on 3 Blackout ink. And I was like, back in the day, I've been stamping and coloring for 10 years. I actually started my blog in 2009. This was a revelation that came to me the other day, and I realized that I had been doing this for 10 years, which is kind of crazy, but also pretty awesome because it's something that I absolutely love. I've kept going on this long, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. But back in the day when I first started stamping and coloring and all of that good stuff, I had two black ink pads. I had my Memento by Sukaneko, which was my go-to Copic marker friendly ink that I stamped all of my images with. And then I had my what was my other one? It is you can hear me, I'm pulling it out. It's the Versafine Onyx Black, also by Sukaneko. And that's the one I use for all of my watercoloring. But now there's all these awesome black inks out, and I really like the Ink on 3 Blackout because it is suitable for either watercolor or Copic markers. So it's nice to have just like one ink pad, but yeah, I don't have just one now. I have I'm looking at my black ink little holder, and I have, I think, like 6 different ones. It's ridiculous. I actually wanted to test them out and see which one was my favorite, but I haven't really done that. I just kind of pull whatever is closest to me, and that's what I use. So that was kind of something that was funny to me the other night when I realized how many black inks I now have and how many I started with. So yes, so I did do Copic coloring on this, and I apologize. Like I said earlier, I haven't filmed a coloring video in a long time, and I color with the very tip of my marker. That's how I get, especially on these images, there's a lot of fine detail in this. There's a lot of small areas to get into, and I find using the tip of my marker is the best way to really get into those areas. And with the brush tip of the Copic markers, you're able to really get that fine detail. However, it makes it so that my hand is in the way a lot of the times when I'm coloring. So I apologize about that, but I think you can still see what I'm doing as I move out of the way. So here I am working on the dress, and you can see the way that it was drawn. There are pleats in this adorable little dress, and so I just started with my lightest color and kind of mapped out where I wanted the shading. I love to try and really play up the pleats in an image like this, so I really like to create some dimension with the light and dark colors. As you can see, I'm only using 3 colors here, and it helps for me personally to go in and map that out with my lightest color, and then I can deepen it up each layer and kind of fill that in a little bit, see if I like it, fill it in a little bit more, go in, and I leave a very bright white spot until the very end when I'm ready to color that all in. And that helps to really give that depth of the light hitting those highest peaks of the pleats. And so that's why you see I keep that really, really white space until the very end, and then I just blend it very lightly with my lightest color, and it keeps that nice. Now here I added a little bit of the V22. I didn't put that marker cap down, but I wanted to let you guys know that to deepen up those shadows, using like the opposite color on the color wheel, which with these kind of like peachy orangish type colors, that purple really went beautifully on there and deepened up those shadows, because it just wasn't as deep as I wanted it to be. It wasn't giving me that depth. And then I added that on there, which is the same shading that I used in her hair and her face, and it just ties it all in together and gives me that added dimension that I want. So yeah, and then I'm going in with and starting the florals on her using this green, and then I had G46 out already. It was in the anniversary collection, so it was a black marker, and the tip on that one was all gummed up. So thankfully I have the other original or sketch style, and was able to switch that out easily. But yeah, I realized I haven't colored even with Copics in a while, and as I've been coloring the past couple of weeks, and realizing that my markers definitely need some attention, not just from me coloring them and using them, but I need to clean them. You can see they're all pretty dirty, and they have ink all over the barrel and stuff like that, and especially inside the marker cap. And then some of the tips are awful. And so let me get into why I think some of the tips are awful. I am using Copic Express It coloring card stock paper. This has been my go-to paper for years, almost since the very beginning when I started coloring. It was always very easy to get my hands on. It is pricey. However, I always got really great results on it. So I think when you find something that you love and you get great results with, stick with it. Whether it's Copic Express It paper or whatever brand paper you're using, that's what I did. And so not recently, but maybe in the past year or year and a half, I ran out and replenished my Copic Express It with a large ream. I always get the large ream. And I'm finding, and I've heard in the community, the stamping and coloring community, that there is an issue with the Copic Express It paper. I don't know if they've switched manufacturing or it's just made a different way, but it is gumming up. And what I mean by gumming up is that it's not accepting as many layers as I normally, I'm used to putting on, because I will definitely put on at least 2 layers of each color. And I'm noticing that it gets very gummy, shiny. It's not soaking in the ink as much into the paper. And I have noticed that that is also affecting my the tips or the nibs of my markers, which is unfortunate. So I would love to hear from you guys. What is your favorite paper to color on with Copic markers? Now, I've tried the Nina, and I'll tell you right now, that's not good for me. I am too heavy-handed. I lay down way too much ink, and I've always gotten bleeding with it. Now, I know a lot of people use it and get amazing results, but it's just not good for me because of the amount of ink that I use. And I notice that a lot, that there is bleeding, when I see it being used. And, a lot of people don't mind that, but I do. Now, I don't see the bleeding on the marker, on the Copic Express It paper, regardless of how much I'm putting down. But like I said, it's just not, it's like sitting on top of the paper and creating this shiny area where the ink isn't soaking in. and I'm just not liking it. So I do have some Crafter's Companion marker paper, and I also have some Catherine Pooler paper, and also the Gina K White, which I don't know if that's specifically for markers, but yeah, let me know in the comments what your favorite paper is to color on, and that way I can test it out and see if I like it and figure out what I'm going to do with all of this Copic explicit paper, because if it continues to do this, which I think it will, I mean, I've been using it. If you check out my Instagram, I've been coloring with Copics pretty much this entire month, and that's all I've been using. So yeah, definitely need to do some marker maintenance and test out some different papers, but I will do that. And I hope you guys are enjoying this video. It's just a quick coloring of this cute image. This color combination was actually, it's one that you'll see I've used in my art journals, and I love it. I return to it all the time. I actually have a blanket that has like this sort of color combination. It's navy blue with like these coral flowers. It has more of like a minty green to it as far as the leaves and stuff, but I love this navy blue and this coral combination. It is just absolutely gorgeous right now. And yes, coral is the Pantone color of the year, and that was kind of the start of my inspiration for this coloring challenge, was pulling out some Copics that you know, went with that coral color, and I've just been pretty much using it over and over now. I love it. So here I am just adding a little bit of a drop shadow for her. I like to always ground my images if I'm not cutting them out. Now this is a technique that I use to create kind of just a little fun, whimsical shadow behind the image that I'm using, and I've posted pictures before, and I've had people ask me how do I do it, and it's really simple. So I slowed it down so you can see. I just pick out some really light pale colors and start making dots in certain areas. I kind of pick out like kind of the corners of the image, and I will make bigger dots and then fade them out to really tiny dots further away that it gets from the image. And I just use different colors. For this image I use B21, BG70, and I think B60. They're very light, pale, beautiful shadow colors. You know, just gives the effect of some sky behind her. It makes the image pop. I am not big on creating full scenes yet. Maybe I'll get into that this year. I don't know. But this is something that I love to do, and I think it just adds a really pretty soft effect around the image, and it still gives some texture to the card or the coloring, and makes the focal pop a little bit more. Sometimes I would just go around the entire image with a light color and outline the entire thing, but sometimes that takes a long time, and these little dots don't take long at all. And so that's it. That's all I do. And here's a little bit of a close-up. You can see all the different colors, the sizes, and how they kind of fade out to the tiny dots the further away from the image. So it's a great way to add a little bit of texture to your coloring if you guys want to give that a try. I am adding a little bit of shimmer with the Spectrum Noir glitter pen in clear, and then some texture to the flowers. The middle, because I used such a deep blue, it kind of covered up all of the drawn in centers of the flowers, and so I'm just kind of adding some of that back with the white gel pen, and that's about it. That finishes up the coloring of this adorable image. I absolutely love these new Curvy Girls by Stampin' Bella. Can't wait to see more. I actually got a response from my tweet yesterday that there are more on the way, and I'm so excited about that. And I just put her on a card. It's very simple, layered up some different color, paper, pattern paper that matched the coloring, and I actually used the same blue to create an outline on some white cardstock to create that little border. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I'll have a link to more videos like this one, so some more Copic coloring if you want to check that out. And if you aren't a subscriber yet, I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel and let me know that you like what you're seeing. And until the next video, stay inspired, be creative, and share that with others. Bye!